afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. You have Alyssa Corum and Ken Shreve here to break down all the market action and a couple of stocks on our radar. And Ken, today we saw a little bit of relief from the selling. And what are a couple of stocks that you're taking a look at right now?
Well, we have to take a look at Yeti's earnings report. Great bounce off the 50-day line for that stock, and sort of segue into Camping World, which is a similar stock that is also showing pretty good action and is still near a buy point, which a lot of growth stocks can't say right now.
And ticker JBL as well, Jabil. We'll get to all that. But first, we have to look at how the market action shaped up today. So first, we are going to take a look at QQQ, the ETF that tracks the NASDAQ 100, gaining about 0.8% for the day, while the NASDAQ Composite gained about 0.7%. But small caps led the day up about 1.8%. The S&P up 1.2%. The Dow up 1.3%. So even though we did get a little relief from the selling here, Ken, the NASDAQ and tech stocks not in a position of strength by any means right now.
No, I'm not sure really today's action did anything to make the index healthier from a technical perspective. It does look like we've got a close in the bottom half of the range. So there were definitely some sellers. The QQQ got up to an intraday gain of 1.7%. It came all the way back down to pretty much break even at one point today. Then it rallied back up for a gain of more than 1%. And you can see the selling that came into the market. Love these intraday charts because you can see during those three sharp declines there into the close. So not a great close in the bottom half, but we'll take a gain and take a look at the S&P 500 too and see where that closed.
Exactly, because S&P came all the way down to its 50-day line in yesterday's session, so was able to get a bounce off of that level. But Ken, will we see a move like we saw the last time the S&P came down to the 50?
We will have to see. There seems to be a lot more kind of technical damage among leading growth stocks this time around. So I'm not sure we're going to get the same result that we did when that S&P hit a low there of 383. But you can see three sharp declines this week came in higher volume. You can see the volume today was above average, but below that of the prior two sessions. But we did get a close in the upper half for the S&P 500. So this is making a good first test. I think the Dow is in a similar boat too, as it tests support at the 50-day. And the Dow, nice close near highs in the upper half. That was probably helped by JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. Pretty good day for financial stocks today.
Exactly. And we have to just quickly check in on small caps as well. The Russell 2000 tracked by the IWM ETF. So percentage wise, a pretty good gain for small caps, up 1.8%, but a lot of damage preceding this.
Yeah, so right now, it's really in the same boat as the NASDAQ with a sharp break of the 50-day moving average. Is the small cap index, is the NASDAQ going to be able to eventually get back above that 50-day line? When it goes through a period of selling pressure like the IWM and the QQQ have gone through, sometimes that 50-day line can turn into a resistance level where it rallies back up close to the 50-day line and gets turned away due to selling pressure. So we'll see how that plays out. Not much has changed despite pretty decent gains today. There's a lot of damaged stocks out there, but we did find three stocks today that are looking pretty good.
That we did. So with that, let's take a look at Yeti, a really impressive upside reversal after coming down to its 50-day line after its quarterly earnings report that showed very impressive growth on both the top and bottom lines, acceleration from the quarter before as well, sales up 42%, earnings up 245%, in that leisure theme that we've been talking about as well. But it wasn't looking all too pretty there for Yeti for just a little bit there, and sharp declines heading into today. But again, an impressive upside reversal.
Yeah, it just ended up being a test even when shares were under pressure. This stock was up nicely in pre-market trading, and it opened higher, but then it quickly faded, turned negative. But it just came right down to the 50-day moving average and found support. So this was just a great earnings report. You can see good acceleration in revenue, up 42% from 26% the prior quarter, and then a triple-digit increase in earnings. A lot of people wondering how Yeti is going to be able to maintain these growth rates, but the company, as well as reporting nice earnings and sales growth, they raised their full year sales guidance. Full year sales guidance and earnings guidance for that matter. So their outlook is pretty solid, and I would call this stock still in buy range here. Broke out from that consolidation, only about 5 or 6% above its 10-week moving average at this point. And I think this is a place, if you have to own something, this is probably a chart that looks the best. There's not much out there in terms of actionable stocks, but I would say this one is actionable in light of today's strength. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that relative strength line sitting pretty there near highs as well.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, related to Yeti in a way, we have Camping World, ticker CWH, also coming down to test its 10-week line, down about 4% for the week, but did manage to have a nice gain today of almost 6%. So on the daily, hovering right around that 21-day line, Ken.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of growth stocks are breaking their 50-day. Some have even gone through their 200-day lines. Camping World, another example of a stock holding support at its 50-day moving average. This recent high of 44.10, that was a legitimate buy point. So the 44.20 buy point is still in play. It looks like it closed about 13 cents above that buy point, and kind of a little similar looking chart to Yeti. If we go back to the weekly chart,
yeah, the
weekly chart for Camping World. Yeah, so it's kind of a test of the 10-week moving average, kind of floating near that 44.20 buy point. It's got a good RS line. Camping World selling a lot of RVs these days. You can see when they reported earnings not that long ago, their sales surged 52% year over year. So that was also accelerating growth from 18% in the prior quarter.
All right. And last but not least, Jabil in the electronic contract manufacturing group, coming down to test its 10-week moving average after a move higher. Now, it's not the most impressive group out there, Ken, out of 122 out of 197, but the technical action is looking pretty decent, I'd say.
Yeah, and this is a great thing about the MarketSmith charts. If you look over the top relative strength stocks in the group over on the left here, you see there are several stocks with RS ratings of 90, 86, 90. So this is sometimes you don't want to put a whole lot of stock into a group's actual ranking. So yes, this one ranks in the bottom half of our 197 industry group rankings, but there's pretty good leadership in the group. And this, to me, you can see a nice breakout for Jabil several weeks ago, and then this is just a great first test of the 50-day moving average here on the daily chart, and then the weekly chart is just a nice test of the 10-week moving average for the first time. So this is another chart that's looking pretty good. The three charts that we've looked at today are kind of anomalies in the market.
Right.
There's not a lot of stuff out there that's looking all that hot at this point. But Yeti, Camping World, and Jabil fighting a good fight here.
Right. So with that being said, Ken, even though we're seeing some bright spots here, actionable opportunities, should investors really be looking to get more exposure right now? Again, we did have the S&P, coming down to its 50-day, bouncing off of that level, which is encouraging. But is it sustainable, or do we have a clear signal as to where the market is headed at this point?
I think there are some, financial stocks that are still looking pretty good. We talked about a few on IBD Live this morning. The IBD 50. There's Western Alliance and SIVB, and so there are isolated opportunities out there. But I know one thing we were talking about this morning is, I don't think any of us are in a big rush to move back into the market here. It's been tough. We let our screens, whether it's the IBD 50, the MarketSmith Growth 250, we let our screens sort of tell us how aggressively to be in the market. There are, times when the market is acting so well, it's like you have a list of 10 stocks that are looking great, and you have to
Yeah.
choose which one. Now it's just like the screens are pretty empty, so you really have to look long and hard to find stocks that are holding their 50-day lines and showing good technical action. So I think that market conditions will improve at some point, but again, with the Nasdaq and the Russell, they're below their 50-day lines. We got to see if they can make an effort to get back above those 50-day lines, and hopefully the S&P 500 and Dow find support. They're making a good case for it right now.
All right. Well, thank you for that analysis, Ken. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back with more tomorrow morning on IBD Live to cap off the week of trade. Another very interesting week, but we're rolling with the punches as we always do. And we'll provide you the latest tomorrow morning, as well as after the bell tomorrow back on this show. So we'll see you then.